Put the same $70,000 salary behind 3 apartment doors: Tulsa, Columbus, and Boston. One paycheck, 3 completely different lives. In one city, Cody can save almost $900 a month. In another, the same budget is more than $600 short. So the real question is not, is $70,000 good? It is, good where, with which benefits, and supporting what fixed costs. Let's follow every dollar from Cody's job offer to his checking account. Then test that paycheck against real 2026 American rents. First, some context. The 2026 median full-time worker earns about $1,251 per week. $70,000 a year equals roughly $1,346 per week, above the median, but not by a life-changing distance. This is not a rich person's salary. It is a solid worker's salary that can feel comfortable, tight, or impossible depending on 2 big choices. Those choices are housing and transportation. Federal spending data shows those categories together consume roughly half of the average household budget. For a clean comparison, Cody is single, has no children, works a W-2 job, and receives employer-sponsored health insurance. He contributes 5% to a traditional 401k, claims the standard deduction, and has no unusual tax credits or itemized deductions. This is an educational estimate, not Cody's real tax return. Your state, benefits, filing status, and payroll elections will change the result. The job offer says $70,000. That number looks large because it is annual and because none of the deductions have happened yet. Divide it by 12, and Cody's gross monthly pay is $5,833. That is the top line, not spendable cash. Before taxes, 5% goes into his traditional 401k, about $292 every month. That contribution lowers federal taxable income and quietly builds future wealth, but Social Security and Medicare taxes still generally apply to it. For single employer health coverage, the average worker contribution is about $120 a month, according to KFF's latest survey. The same survey found an average deductible near $1,886 among workers in plans that have a deductible. So a health premium is not the entire health budget. Cody still needs cash available for prescriptions, co-pays, and a deductible surprise. For 2026, a single filer gets a $16,100 standard deduction under the current federal tax rules. After Cody's traditional 401k, pre-tax health premium, and standard deduction, estimated federal taxable income falls to about $48,960. Using the 2026 10 and 12% brackets, estimated federal income tax comes to about $469 per month. Employee Social Security and Medicare add about $437 per month in this model. Then we reserve $175 per month for state and local income taxes, an illustrative 3% allowance, not a national rule. Now the paycheck is honest. $5,833 gross becomes approximately $4,341 of monthly take-home pay. On Cody's pay stub, the deductions are visible: 401k, health, federal tax, payroll tax, and the illustrative state and local amount. This is why a job offer number and a lifestyle number are never the same number. The offer says $70,000. The bank sees about $52,000 annually. Now comes the expense that can overpower every small money hack on the internet: rent. HUD's 2026 fair market rent is a local benchmark based on recent movers set around the 40th percentile, with most tenant-paid utilities included. It is not the cheapest apartment, and it is not a luxury tower. It is a useful apples-to-apples market benchmark. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, the 2026 one-bedroom fair market rent is $987 per month. After that rent, Cody has about $3,354 left for every other part of life. In Columbus, Ohio, the same one-bedroom benchmark is $1,194. Now the paycheck has about $3,147 left after rent, still workable, but with less room for mistakes. In the Boston area, the one-bedroom benchmark jumps to $2,476 per month. After rent, Cody has only about $1,865 left before food, transportation, phones, debt, or medical costs.
The difference between Tulsa and Boston
is $1,489 every month. Over 1 year, that location difference reaches $17,868, more than Cody's entire federal income tax bill 3 times over. This is the main lesson. Where you live can matter more than whether you cancel a streaming subscription. Now, let's build a realistic, transparent spending model. These next numbers are examples, not government averages for every single person. We give Cody $300 for electricity, water, internet, and a phone plan. We give him $600 for groceries, plus modest dining out, not daily delivery, but not a rice and beans fantasy either. Transportation gets $650 for a payment or depreciation, insurance, fuel, maintenance, parking, or a mix of transit and ride shares. That category matters. Transportation alone accounts for about 17% of average household spending in the latest federal expenditure data. We add $125 to a health sinking fund because insurance premiums do not erase deductibles, copays, or prescriptions. Personal and household spending gets $300, clothing, haircuts, cleaning supplies, gifts, and the ordinary purchases budgets forget. Debt minimums get $200. For Cody, that could be a student loan, credit card balance, or a small personal loan. Finally, $300 goes toward emergencies and irregular expenses, tires, travel, annual fees, repairs, and bills that never arrive monthly. Add those non-rent costs and the model totals $2,475 per month. Put Tulsa rent on top, and Cody finishes with roughly $879 of monthly breathing room. That money can accelerate retirement, build a home down payment, eliminate debt, or simply protect him when life gets expensive. Put Columbus rent on the same budget, and the monthly cushion falls to about $672. That is still positive, but one car repair or medical bill can erase several months of progress. Put Boston rent on the same budget, and Cody runs approximately $610 short every month. Nothing about Cody's work ethic changed. Nothing about his salary changed. The housing market changed the entire answer. But Boston is impossible is not the conclusion. The conclusion is that Cody needs a different design for an expensive city. If he shares housing and cuts his personal rent by roughly $900, the deficit becomes a small surplus. If city transit also lets him remove a car and cut transportation by $500, the budget gains real breathing room. One roommate and one transportation decision can outperform years of obsessing over coffee. The same logic works in reverse. Cheap rent does not save a budget if 2 new car payments and high-interest debt consume the difference. So before accepting a $70,000 offer, ask for the benefits sheet, not just the salary line. Read the employee health premium, deductible, employer 401k match, vesting schedule, paid leave, and any commuter or remote work benefit. A 5% employer match could add $3,500 a year to Cody's compensation without increasing his taxable paycheck today. Next, price the actual zip code. Use current rents, renter's insurance, parking, utilities, and the commute, not a national cost of living headline. Then, stress test transportation. Calculate the full monthly cost, including insurance, fuel, repairs, parking, and depreciation, not only the loan payment. Keep the 5% retirement contribution if the budget allows, especially when an employer match is available. And build the first emergency target around 1 month of essential expenses before chasing a perfect 3 or 6 month fund. The Federal Reserve found that 63% of adults could cover a $400 emergency with cash or its equivalent in 2025. Only 55% reported 3 months of emergency savings. A cash buffer is not boring. It is what keeps a surprise from becoming debt. So what does $70,000 actually look like in 2026? It looks like about $4,341 per month after our modeled deductions. In Tulsa, that can create strong breathing room. In Columbus, it can support a stable but intentional life. In Boston, living alone with a car can break the budget, while a roommate and transit can repair it. $70,000 is neither rich nor poor by itself. It is a tool, and housing, transportation, benefits, and debt decide what that tool can build.